Today we're going to take a little journey, but not to a place you can find on a map. Nope, we're going somewhere way more intricate, way more personal. We're diving into the inner world of a daydream. Let's explore these visions together.
This quote really just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? The biggest, most profound adventures we can have, well, they don't require a plane ticket or even moving an inch. All it takes is letting your mind wander a little bit, inward.
Okay, so where does a journey like this even start? Well, it always begins right here, in what we're calling the ordinary moment. You can kind of think of it as the launch pad, right? That quiet, still, everyday world, just before your mind is about to take off.
So, I want you to picture this. You're just sitting there, maybe by a window, maybe at your desk. You're not really focused on any one thing. And then, slowly, the sharp edges of reality just start to soften. The world outside, it doesn't just vanish, not at all. It just kind of fades into this gentle background hum.
And in that quiet space, you start to notice these tiny details, right? This steady, almost hypnotic ticking of a clock, or maybe that specific smell of rain hitting hot pavement in the summer. These are like the last little anchors holding you to the real world, right before your mind starts to drift away.
And then, the shift happens. We're calling it a sudden detour. This is that magic moment, and it's almost totally unconscious when your mind just unties itself from the dock of right now and starts to drift out to sea.
It almost always kicks off with this one little question, doesn't it? Just two simple words. What if? That's it. That's the key that unlocks the door. It's the tiny spark that can light up a whole different reality in your head.
And here's the thing, it's not some sudden jolt. It's way more subtle than that. It's like this gentle pull, a single delicate thread of a thought that just starts leading you away. You barely even notice it's happening until you kind of look back and realize the shoreline of the present moment, well, it's way, way off in the distance. So where does that little thread actually take you? Well, it takes us right here into the visions of the mind. This is really the heart of the whole journey. It's this incredible, boundless landscape where there are no maps and absolutely no rule.
I mean, in this inner world, the laws of physics, they're more like suggestions, right? You can build entire cities, not out of boring old brick and steel, but out of glass and sound. You can go to these completely impossible places and feel perfectly at home.
And so often, this mental space is like our own private rehearsal stage. You know what I'm talking about? It's where you finally think of the perfect comeback, like hours later. Or you win that argument you could never win in real life. Or maybe you get to have one more conversation with someone you really miss. It's our way of practicing the life we maybe wish we had.
There's actually a perfect, beautiful word for this whole state, reverie. And it's not just zoning out, which sounds kind of negative. No, it's about being pleasantly lost. It gives it this legitimacy, right? It acknowledges that this is a real and honestly a pretty valuable part of being human.
And this is what shows us that this is so much more than just idle fantasy. It's a creative powerhouse. In our minds, we get to be inventors. We get to be artists. We can solve these incredibly complex problems or just give ourselves a better ending to a story we love. It's like a sandbox for your soul, just a place to build and play.
But you know how it is. All journeys have to end eventually. We have to come back to reality. And that brings us to our last section here, the echo of a dream. Because coming back is just as important as leaving. And the thing is, we almost never come back empty-handed. Suddenly, that ticking clock, it starts to get a little louder again. The room you're in snaps back into focus. Yep, you're back. But that little trip you just took, it leaves something behind, a kind of residue, a faint echo, and something, even if it's super small, has shifted in how you see things. And just think about that contrast for a second. The physical room you're in, it's got boundaries, right? 4 walls. But the mind you were just exploring, that contains infinite worlds. The room is totally governed by that ticking clock, but your mind, it was just in this state of timelessness. And while your body was completely still, your mind was in constant, vibrant motion. It's a pretty amazing difference. So this all brings us to one last, really crucial question. We're always told that daydreaming is just a distraction, right? That it's a waste of time. But after everything we've just talked about, after seeing the rich, complex worlds it can build, is it really just a distraction? Or could it be a destination? A necessary and beautiful destination all on its own. It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for coming on this little journey with me.